Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are literally unpacking the definitive roadmap of the tools and frameworks used to build autonomous agentic AI in 2026. If you've been hearing a ton of buzzwords lately, things like LangChain, CrewAI, AutoGen, OpenAI APIs, or vector databases, and you're kind of wondering how they all fit together to create intelligent automation, well, you are in exactly the right place. So let's just dive right into this.
I want you to start by shifting your mindset for a second. Imagine, what if your AI didn't just answer your questions, but actually did the heavy lifting for you? For the past few years, we've basically treated AI like a super smart encyclopedia. We ask a question and it gives us an answer. But agentic AI, that represents a massive leap forward. We're moving away from AI that just talks to AI systems that can independently think, plan, remember past interactions, and actually execute multi-step workflows with almost no human involvement. It's literally like giving a digital brain the ability to act completely on its own.
So here is our roadmap for today. We've got 1. The agentic AI revolution. 2. How AI agents think. 3. The big 3 frameworks. 4. No-code agent platforms. 5. Enterprise trends and ROI. And finally 6. The future of automation.
Section 1. The Agentic AI Revolution.
A really prime example of this revolution is the browser agent. This is an AI system that autonomously controls a web browser to complete tasks, things like navigating sites, filling out forms, and extracting data. And look, we're not talking about those old-school rigid automation scripts that just break the second a web page changes its layout. No way. Tools like Firecrawl are totally pioneering the space. They use large language models to actually understand the context of a web page. They can navigate multiple tabs, fill out forms, and pull structured data autonomously. It's a fully adaptable AI-powered navigation layer acting on your behalf.
Moving right along to Section 2, how AI agents think. So how does this cognitive loop actually work? Well, if we look at a framework like LangChain or LangGraph, it all kicks off with the user input. From there, it moves to the agent node. This is where the AI literally makes a decision on whether it needs to use a tool to get more info. If the answer is yes, it routes over to the Tools node to take an action like querying an OpenAI API or digging into a vector database. Then it evaluates the data it gets back. It just loops this entire process until it has everything it needs to formulate the final answer. It's basically thinking out loud.
Now, to pull this off, the system relies on 3 absolute core mechanics. First up, you've got tools. These are essentially Python functions with really clear descriptions that the AI can trigger whenever it needs to. Second is state, which is the memory system. Think about it. Human beings remember previous conversations, right? Well, modern AI agents are learning to do the exact same thing. Without state, the AI basically has amnesia every time you talk to it. State retains that conversation history so the agent doesn't get stuck in endless loops. And third, the graph. This is the control flow that explicitly dictates the order of operations.
All right, Section 3, the big 3 frameworks.
Let's put the 2 biggest players head-to-head. Think of LangGraph as a highly controlled, stateful graph flowchart. It is purpose-built for those strict, fault-tolerant production environments where you absolutely need total control over every single step and memory system. CrewAI, on the other hand, it takes a totally different approach. It works much more like a collaborative team of specialists. You give your agents specific roles, like researcher or content writer, and they naturally delegate tasks to each other. It's fascinating to watch.
When we line these up alongside a third heavyweight, AutoGen, the different architectures become crystal clear. AutoGen, which is backed by Microsoft, is incredible at conversational architectures. Think of multiple agents debating and iteratively refining code together. But check out the setup lines of code. LangGraph gives you that super low latency and maximum control, but it takes about 80 lines of code just to get started. Meanwhile, CrewAI gets you to a working multi-agent prototype with the fewest lines of code possible. We're talking around 35 lines.
But wait, we definitely can't ignore a couple of specialized powerhouses out there. If your main bottleneck is data retrieval, let's say you're reasoning over massive enterprise knowledge bases, Llama Index is completely unmatched for RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. Meanwhile, OpenAgents is out there pioneering persistent, interoperable agent networks using open protocols. And speaking of open protocols, keep MCP in the back of your mind. We are going to circle back to that later because it's a total game changer.
Which brings us to Section 4, No-Code Agent Platforms.
You really don't need to be a hardcore developer to get in on this.
The market for non-technical teams has absolutely exploded with intuitive no-code tools. Gumloop, for instance, lets anyone visually orchestrate AI workflows using a simple drag-and-drop canvas. Zero code required. Lindy is fantastic if you need a personal admin to manage your inbox. Relevance AI lets you build deep, multi-agent teams for super complex research. And Relay.app is basically perfect for streamlining small team operations. These platforms are truly democratizing agentic AI for everyone.
But there's a problem we've all faced at some point: chat fatigue. Most agents just spit out these massive, intimidating walls of text that are honestly overwhelming to read. Well, platforms like Thesis are solving this completely with generative UI. Instead of paragraphs of text, the AI actually generates interactive tables, guided flows, and dynamic dashboards right on the fly. It's the difference between an AI that just talks at you and an AI that builds usable software interfaces for you in real time.
Let's pivot to Section 5, Enterprise Trends and ROI.
Okay, let's ground all of this in some hard empirical data by looking at the 2026 State of AI Agents report. This report specifically tracked how organizations are actually moving these agents out of the experimental sandbox and deploying them into real, active production environments.
This data point is so fascinating. When looking at enterprise adoption models, you might assume every massive company is just building custom agents from scratch, right? Actually, no. Only 20% do that. 21% rely entirely on pre-built options. The massive winner here is the hybrid approach, coming in at 47%. Nearly half of all organizations are finding their sweet spot by combining off-the-shelf solutions to get up and running fast, while only custom building specific components to keep their competitive edge.
And the return on that investment? It is honestly kind of mind-blowing, especially when you look at the software development lifecycle. AI agents are saving a staggering 63% of time for mid-market engineers on code generation alone. They are also massively accelerating planning, ideation, and code refactoring. That's not just a little productivity bump, it completely transforms how fast these teams can move.
Finally, Section 6, the future of automation.
I promised earlier we'd circle back to MCP, and here we go. The Model Context Protocol, alongside protocols like A2A, is completely dissolving the walled gardens of AI. Think of it like a universal adapter. In the very near future, you won't be locked into just one ecosystem. A CrewAI agent will naturally discover, communicate, and collaborate with a LangGraph agent or an AutoGen system. That kind of seamless interoperability is the true future of multi-agent networks.
There's this really fascinating industry perspective from Accenture that I want to highlight. They point out that the key enabler for this massive wave of enterprise adoption is conversational interfaces. We are rapidly moving away from rigid programming commands and overly structured prompts. Soon enough, natural dialogue is going to be the only way we instruct and interact with our autonomous systems. The friction between what you want to do and the machine actually executing it is dropping straight to zero.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. Are you ready to build your own digital workforce? Whether you're a developer getting into the weeds with LangChain and Python, or a non-technical creator visually dragging and dropping nodes in Gumloop, the tools are here. They are incredibly powerful, and they're just waiting for you to use them. Don't just sit back and watch the AI revolution happen. Start your own builder's journey today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.